Galactic Rising. Sharpening my sword. Summary of what I like to call the Super Jesus 47 game. The Super Jesus 47 game. Christ game. Which will soon be called the Cosmic Jesus 69 game, or 6.9. These numbers are important. Summarizing it. There are 4 main reasons why I want to play this game. The first reasoning, called the Astral reasoning, to bring full awareness of who the true cosmic Yeshua is, or the cosmic King of all kings, or the cosmic God, or the God of gods, awareness of the God of gods. Next, the reincarnation and or the acceptance of its character, or of its persona, or of its driver, which is you, the actual you. The second part is the second reasoning is to encourage you all to accept the actual you. Third, purification. Purification of the enemy. And fourth and finally, I simplified it because the enemy will never stop playing games on us, so I'm going to play a game upon the enemy. And the difference between my game and the enemy's game is that once my game is proven to be a bigger and more better game to be played, it's going to come to an ending. And that ending is going to appear as the Astral reasonings, soul liberation, and the ether reasonings, global child manumission, if I didn't say that properly. Because the Astral reasoning is the 4 things I mentioned. The reawakening, the reincarnation, the resurrection, and the renewal. That's the Astral reasoning in total. You learning how to morally perfect and practice your natural moral standings or standards. Stand on perfect morals, move in moral speed. Stand on perfect morals and move in moral speed. And the second reason, so the first reasoning, Astral, soul liberation, removing the planks and or beams from thine eye, third eye, pineal, the eye of the Jesus in you. Ethereal reasoning, the second reasoning, global child manumission, or peace, freedom from disturbance, tranquility, freedom from wars, or a period where war has ended. You know, the word disturbance literally defines as unsettled, an unsettling of a settled peaceful condition. That's what the word disturbance is defined as, I believe. Look it up for yourself so you can validate it for yourself to make sure. It slips in my mind from time to time. Next, third reasoning, purification. The word purification literally defines as make something ceremonially or spiritually clean. Spiritually clean. Spiritually clean. What am I spiritually cleaning? The 4 fundamental forces of human behavior. Cleaning the 4 fundamental forces of human behavior. It's the third reason why I'm playing this game. And the fourth reason, because the enemy will never stop playing its game on us, so I'm never going to stop playing my game on it. And the difference is, once my game takes over the reality in which we are all in, my game is going to come to an end, which is the Astral reasoning, soul liberation, and the ethereal reasonings, global child manumission. Summary of my sword now. 4-layer game. The first layer is called the spiritual layer, or the spiritual target, which is also the reawakening portion, focused. Well, there you go, the focus of the reawakening. The first part of the game is the reawakening focus, meaning bringing you awareness of who the King of all kings is and awareness of thine current mental conditioning simultaneously. Second layer, the soul portion of the game, or the reincarnation focus, fusion focus, acceptance of who the King of Kings really is, me telling you what you all logically feel like. The reincarnation part of the game, focusing on the fusion, focusing on the acceptance, me telling you all what you logically feel like. Logically feel like. Logic is reasoning conducted or assessed according to strict principles of validities, meaning which you went to go validate. I went to go validate all of this information on the King of Kings persona, the entirety of the King of Kings persona. And the King of Kings persona is what you literally cosmically feel like. Third layer, your resurrection focus. Coming back to your divine senses focus. That's the third layer. And this one is essentially what I just said, coming back to your divine senses and finally being able to see what the actual enemy is once you have broken free from the box and this whole box and the entities in which we're inside of it are now all out in the open for the world to see. That's the fourth part of the game, the resurrection. The third part of the game, the resurrection. Focus on coming back to your divine senses and having the true enemy of the world, or the principalities, the negative sinful principalities, out in the open. Fourth part of the game and final part of the game, the reestablishment focus. The reestablishment focus should be self-explanatory, but still, it is a settlement of the mentality of the King of Kings in our reality, the settlement of the true God of Gods mentality within our reality, the settlement of the soul of the universe's mentality within our reality. Before I move on, quick side note before I move on. Did you know the word principle, spelt with an A-L at the end of the word, meaning P-R-I-N-C-I-P-A-L, the word principle is the exact same as the word ethnics in a sense. They have similar meanings, because remember, the word ethnics literal definition, it is a group of traditional practices in which you accumulated from a group of people in which are your surroundings or that you grew up with. Look up the word to define it for yourself. And the principal is the master and or chief of a group of people. So in other words, your principles structure your ethics, and your ethics structure you. Principle to ethnics. And then here's another funny part, in a sense kind of funny. The word principle, spelled with an L-E, is the same thing as ethics, or very similar in meaning to them. These are synonymous, they have synonymous meanings, meaning principle spelled with an A-L has a synonymous meaning, very, very similar to the meaning of the word ethnics. And the word principle, spelled with the L-E at the end of the word, is very similar in meaning to the word ethics. The word ethics, it has a literal definition. It says, the branch of knowledge concerning moral principles. Meaning the definition of principle with the L-E is in the word morals, or in the word ethnics. Ethics without the N. With that being said, I want to share some more details of the Super Jesus 47 game. Super Jesus 47, which will soon be called Cosmic Jesus 6.9 or Cosmic Jesus 6.9. But right now, Super Jesus 47, with the first group of 9 great fathers within the hierarchy or within the game, using their mental and moral qualities to execute it as the sword in which it deserves to be. I have a whole nother group of great fathers for the Cosmic Christ game I'm going to play. But right now, Super Jesus 47 and the 9 great fathers I told you about, and incorporate and/or give me a more fluid way to bore the sword into the grounds and clean them. Blow them up. Moving forward. And what kind of sword am I boring, and what kind of grounds? I'm boring a sword of love into the grounds of hate. So here's some details about the game. So 4-7, what's the significance of the 4-7? Each layer of the game, or each realm, or each focus point of the game is going to have an ethical 2 to talk about that will be important to know. So 6 ethical things, or 6 principle-ethical things. Principle-ethical things. 4-2 principle-ethical things, right? And then the 7 very important, or 7-2 very important principle-ethnical things. Principle-ethnical things. You follow what I'm saying? So it's going to be 4 by 2 very important principle-ethical things, and 7 by 2 very important principle-ethnical things. Now, the first layer, the reawakening, to bring you awareness of who the King of Kings belief system pillar is also your current mental conditioning, and also the devil's belief system pillar, awareness of it all. Virtually how everything works, you're going to have awareness of if my game is successful. If this works, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Jamaica. Why do I keep saying that? Because I'm going to end up being a president of Jamaica. Or a very important family member of that entire country there. And then Haiti and Jamaica will be a massively great family once again. And then soon you all will. And then all of this entire continent will be standing on one type of common grounds: love. You'll never be able to look away from it again. Real love. Moving forward. So, what's the Principle-Ethical 4x2? Principle-Ethical 4x2 and the Principle-Ethnical 7x2 of these here, of the first layer and the first focus of the game, which is the reawakening. Awareness of your mental conditioning's belief system, as well as the awareness of the King of Kings mental conditioning belief system, and as well as the devil's mental conditioning belief system. Almost like the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, huh? The first part of the game is. That's what it's going to be then. Awareness of the Father's belief system pillar, the Son's belief system pillar, the actual you. And then the Holy Spirit's mental belief system. Which one would that be? The entrenchment. Never gonna lie to you, never gonna mislead you. Integrity is the foundation of my tongue. Everything I do and say at any time that I do and say it is for the cause, the sovereignty or principle heart of hearts. I love you very much whether you want to love me or not. Makes no difference, because the more you learn, the more you rise. And the more you rise, the more you go up in the spirit. And the more you go up in the spirit, the more this here King of Kings or this here God, Christ, life force of love, belief system pillar consumes you and or reconnects with your crown and moves you in the right direction. Now let's play. The Principle-Ethical 4x2 and the Principle-Ethical 7x2. For the first layer, the first focus of the game, the reawakening. Titled, The Four Corner Mental Spirit Prison, or the Four Corner Mental Faculty Spirit Prison. You can say whatever you want, but it's just a four-cornered. Keep that four-cornered in mind. That's the most important key. The Four-Corner Mental Spirit Prison, or the Four-Corner Mental Faculty Prison. That's what it's called. Mental Faculty Prison sounds a little bit more direct and scientific in regards to what I'm talking about, but calling it the Four-Corner Mental Spirit Prison relates to the real cause of what I'm trying to get you to comprehend here, how the life force is our government, and how all of this information that I'm using to play this game here tells you this. The life force is our government. Get all the garbage out of the way so you can see this properly. Burn through all of the darkness when the plaguing thy mind, heart, space environment that is preventing you from being able to see and comprehend this reality properly. That the life force is our government. The life force is our government. The supernatural life force is our government. So, Four-Corner Mental Faculty Spirit Prison is the first of the four of the Principle-Ethical 4x2. And the two outside are fear and ignorance. What's inside of it? The 7 deadly sins. Left corner, vanity. Top corner, jealousy. Bottom corner, sloth, with the two outside being fear and ignorance. And into the right corner, wrath, greed, gluttony, and lust. Reason why so many on the right corner is because the world does so much to prevent us from doing the right thing as we were so destined and naturally meant to be doing right now. That makes sense to you? Now, the Principle-Ethical 7-2. What are they titled? the 7 belief system pillars to be dismantled by any moral means necessary, or just the 7 belief system pillars. Pillars. Think like house, or think like a building on top of a foundation. The 4-corner mental faculty spirit prison is the foundation, and the 7 pillars are all on this one foundation here. So once the foundation goes, meaning the foundation of hate that got there are sins within that box inside of your mind, all bunched up to stop you from being able to think properly. Once that foundation goes, so too do the pillars. And the 7 pillars, think pillars on top of a foundation, or house on top of a foundation. Or a driver inside of a car. The car itself, the vehicle being your foundation, the engine being what gives you, the driver, it's your abilities to control it. Take these words with you. To summon the Christ Father in the Spirit's house is to establish order upon the soul's grounds. To summon the Christ Father within the Spirit's house is to establish order upon the soul's grounds. Right now, I am telling you about 7 to 9 different houses in which only one need to be there, which is Christ's. The other 8 can go bye-bye. In the first 7 of these that need to go bye-bye are racism. Second, the house of feminism. Third, the house of foul sexuality or foul sexual orientation. Fourth, the house of the nerd geek culture. This belief system pillar categorizes the rich, middle class, and all of ye who have been poverty-stricken due to colonization worldwide. All of you are going to be extremely abundant. Why? Because it is your destiny to be abundant. It is your destiny to be prosperous. It is your destiny to thrive. It is your destiny to live the way the soul inside of you is living right now currently. It is your destiny to live this way. Why? Because right now currently you are technically living this way. It's just physically you are not. As within, so throughout. It is your destiny to live as the Spirit Soul King of all kings in you is living. This game, not only is it going to influence you or encourage you to do this, as the definition of light is, it is a natural agent which stimulates sight and makes things visible. This is the first step. This first thing this game is going to do. Make things visible. Make you see it. Make you get it. Know better, you do better. Moving forward. The 7. Racism. Feminism. Foul sexuality. The nerd geek culture. 5th. The gangsters. 6. The tribes, and 7, the house of the religions, the house of the 10,000 religions worldwide, or the principle of the 10,000 religions, spelled with an AL, or the ethnical code known as religions. Christianity is an ethical code. It ain't foundational. You have to learn Christianity from the mouths of all the people who wanted to put that Christianity idea in your head, as well as the Muslim religion. Look at how they all got their startups. Guarantee you there was a whole lot of corruption for even the Muslim religion to begin its rise to be what it is. Moving forward, the 2 belief system pillars outside, the King of all kings belief system pillar, and the devil of all devils belief system pillar, or the devil of all sins, or the generator of sins, or where sins derive from. That there is the 9th belief system pillar, whereas the 8th is where all positive good things and senses derive from. Speaking of senses, and belief system pillar 8's connection to the second part as well. Now we're moving on to the details, or the summary details of the Super Jesus 47's soul focus part of the game. My favorite part of the game, because I get to tell you how you logically feel. And what do you logically feel like? Good. You logically feel good all the time. And there's a bunch of wirings and engines and codes. And once again, 4 Principle-Ethical 2s, or Principle-Ethical 4-2s, and Principle-Ethnical 7-2s, as well as on this here focus of the game as well, that are going to tell you all about your engines and all about the order in which the Christ Father is going to bring to this part of the game if you accept, or if you allow him to be summoned in the Spirit's house, which was the first part of the game, in that 8th belief system I just told you about. So, what does it consist of? What are the Principle-Ethical 4-2s of this here soul focus of the game? They're titled the four styles of spiritual communication, which are spiritual awareness, spiritual expression, spiritual avoidance, and spiritual depression. And then the 2 outside being spiritual offense and spiritual defense. Playing some soul football. Moving forward. Now, the Principle-Ethnical 7-2, what's its titled? The 7 dimensions of thought power. The 7 dimensions of thought power. What are these 7 dimensions of thought power? What is a dimension? An aspect, feature, or feature of something. That's what a dimension is. So, dimensions. And the 2 outside are the Soul Star Chakra and the Earth Star Chakra. So, listing all 9 of them. This time from the current of liberation from on down to the physical. So, the Soul Star Chakra being number 1. The Crown Chakra being number 2. Cherubim is a constituent of the Crown Chakra, by the way. And the Seraphim is a constituent of the Soul Star Chakra, by the way. Seraphim parents, cherubim children. The Christ Father establishes order upon the soul's grounds. Right now I'm focusing on the soul's grounds. So, third eye chakra. 4th, throat chakra, which also holds the 7-dimensional thinking mind, which is what I'm using to tell you about all 7 of the chakras with the 2 more outside. The crown chakra holds the 9-dimensional thinking mind, by the way. And then you have the 5th one, the heart chakra. 6th one, solar plexus chakra. 7th one, sacral chakra. 8th one, the archangel chakra, the root chakra. And then the 9th one, the earth star chakra itself. That there is your 9 gates and or your 7 to 9 chakra dimensional thinking mind powers. Next, 3rd one, the resurrection. The resurrection of the King of all kings, globally. Everywhere on the planet, to and throughout every human being in existence. None of you are escaping. Want to know why you're not escaping? Because you got my body, not yours. I made that. Not me personally. I don't create. I just wear what was created how I like to. I created you. The 3rd eye chakra. Using the power from my heart grid, meaning the universe itself. Because it's like the brain with the stem is inside of the heart universe, the heart verse. If you want to change the universe to something different, or if you want to change it from a you and I versus something else, I recommend you call it a heart verse, because that's what this is. It's a giant heart verse. Or we live inside of a brain, or inside of a brain inside of a heart, or inside of a heart inside of a brain inside of a heart. Or we are in God inside of a God inside of God. It's not complicated. It's just kind of silly, but beautiful and poetic at the same time. All in one. Moving forward. So, the 3rd part of the game is the resurrection part. This is the resurrection of the King of Kings. What is the Principle-Ethical 4-2 and the Principle-Ethical 7-2 for this part of the game right here? I'm going to make that sound cool in a moment or later on. But here. So, the Principle-Ethical 4-2 and is for the resurrection part of the game is titled The 4 Fundamental Forces of Human Behavior. That's what it's titled. And they are the positive force of human behavior, the negative or the balanced force of human behavior, let's say negative second, the negative force of human behavior. And then you have the balanced force of human behavior. And finally, the quiescent force of human behavior, or the dead space of force of human behavior. Or what you can literally, honestly call it, the environmental force of human behavior. The environmental, meaning your environment does have a push on how you think and behave in this world. I guarantee you it does. Your environment has a lot to do with how you think and behave. Don't believe me? Just watch. Moving forward. The two outside for this one. The King of Kings, force of nature. And then you have the Devil's force of nature. Or you can say the life force of nature and the death force of nature. You can keep it at life and death, because I'm anti-death, pro-life in every way possible. I'm pro-life in every way possible. I am against any and all things anti-life, completely. None of you are going to die dealing with me at all. If this works, it's gonna work. If you all take your hand off of blocking my progress, even for a moment, and I get a footstep on the ground with this conviction, there goes an entire continent in a month. And it's all going to start with North America, right here. Even one footstep. Don't let me get an inch, right? We shouldn't let these people have 1 inch. Ain't that what y'all say? Moving forward. The 4 fundamental forces of human behavior. And then the 2 outside. The King of all kings, force of human behavior. And the Devil's force of human behavior. Or the life force of human behavior and the death force of human behavior. There now, what are the Principal-Ethnical 7-2s? What's the Principal-Ethnical 7-2? The Principal-Ethnical 7-2. What's that one? The Principal-Ethnical 7-2, principle spelled with an AL, not an LE. It is the 7 gates and their characteristic spirits. 7 gates are their characteristic spirits. Now the gates are the chakras, but the characteristic spirits are the sins in which are blocking the gates, which are now, due to it being the 3rd part of the game, meaning the resurrection, that their original box there, that box in its original state is now broken. It's broken, busted wide open like a Pandora's box. And now those negative sin principalities are all in the world for you to see what they are pushing, why they are pushing what they are pushing, and where they are, how they're lined up truly, and where they're lined up truly. You'll be able to see that. What are the 7 principal-ethnical sin principalities on this list, or the 7 ethnical principal gates and characteristic spirits? What are they? The first one is ignorance, counting from the current of manifestation to the top. Ignorance is the first one, a constituent of the Earth Star chakra, or blocking you of the Earth Star chakra's information. Why don't you know anything about the planet you are on? Did you know this planet is technically a relative? Like a close-knit brother, almost. You'd say it's a mother, though, right? No, this is the father's land. Ain't no motherland. Africa is the father's land. Yeah, I said that. You know what? I guarantee you a certain countries, old, traditional, ancient countries that you can look up in Africa that'll have its name translated to the father's land. I've seen some. I just wish the name was on the top of my head and I could just burst your bubble with it. It was called the father's land before a lot of things. Yeah, moving forward. So, They are as follows. The 7-2. First one is principal sin ignorance, constituent of the earth. Principal sin greed, constituent of the root. Principal sin lust, constituent of the sacral. Sin gluttony, solar plexus. Sin pride or vanity, heart constituent. Sin wrath, it is the throat constituent. Sloth, third eye constituent. Jealousy, crown constituent on the top. Jealousy on the top. Notice this for a second. How sloth is on the bottom, but then when it's in the open, it's on the top. You notice how that reverse, I'm not going to say pentagram, the Star of David, you know how it's reversed. I can do that blood symbol, but I'm not going to do it. And it's reversed. That's also what that symbolizes too. Like I said, I want them in a certain order. Spirit should always be at the top. Never flip to the bottom. And then you got jealousy at the top, the crown chakra, as the ethos of the world today. And then you have fear above jealousy, because let's never forget, jealousy is the reason why all of the other 8 principalities are there in the first place. Real quick before I move on to close out the video, or say the last note. The reversal of these sins. The opposite of fear is courage. The opposite of jealousy is contentment. Speaking of contentment, we want to keep our women content. That's the cake right there. Their happiness is the icing on the cake. And you being the apple in their eye is the cherry on the icing of the cake. Moving forward. The flip side of sloth is ambition. The flip and or opposite of wrath is tranquility. The flip and or opposite of the vanity is soul pride. Soul pride. Soul satisfaction for the soul's achievements, or satisfaction for the soul's standards, peace, love, unity, and advancement. And then the opposite of gluttony is discipline. Controlling your own eating habits and controlling what you consume, period. Moderations. Don't overconsume. You can be a gluttonous for anything, though. Be a gluttonous for something different. Just redirect it. That's another way you can beat the problems that are plaguing your mind, heart, body environments. Redirect it. Figure out a way to verbally redirect it. Use your abilities with your nouns, with your abilities to name things, your verbs, with your abilities to verbalize things, your adjectives, with your abilities to add details and or toss details unto your verbalizations, and your adverbs, which is essentially the same thing as adjective. Did I say that correctly? Nouns, the 4 fundamental words, the 4 forms of words. Nouns, it's not pronouns, is it? Nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. I believe that's what it was called. Moving forward, though. Use your skills to communicate with the world to redirect the evils trying to plague it. Long story short. Next. The opposite of lust is stoicism. The opposite of greed is satisfaction. And the opposite of ignorance is cosmic divine Christ awareness. What does the word awareness mean? Awareness means knowledge or perception of a situation or fact. That's it. When you look it up, it just says knowledge or perception of a situation or fact. What the word awareness defines as. So cosmic knowledge or cosmic perception of a celestial situation or celestial fact. You're the celestial, though, and this entire reality is a constituent of thee. Moving forward. Next, the final one, the reestablishment. This is the one that is brand new, but it won't be soon. The Principle-Ethical 4-2 and the Principle-Ethical 7-2 are as follows. the 4-2, being titled the 4 Fundamental Forces of Purification. The 4 Fundamental Forces of Purification. Details: you want to stop the enemy, destroy the enemy, take their power away from them, or defend against them in every way possible. From what? First off, the 2 outside, which is the foundation of life, the life force foundation, or the universal foundational law of love. That's what you can call that outside, because it's just all the same thing. The life force of love's foundation, the one universal foundational law of love, in which we all have. So those are our common grounds there. Love is our common grounds naturally. Love is our common grounds naturally. Quantum love. Moving forward. And then the second one is the death force of hate's universal foundational law of hate. Because essentially when you look at the makeup of the entire government's body, what it's ultimately trying to put into our world is a combo ground of love and hate. And the reason why the government wants this fake love in there, or that fake solution in there, is because we'll feed into it more, like football games, for example. We love football games, don't we? We love basketball, don't we? We love money, don't we? How was basketball originated? How was football originated? How was money, or the idea of currency, originated? What kind of people do you see on that currency there? Ain't ours. But yet we love their money, don't we? Am I jealous because I'm not rich and loaded or anything like that? I don't want to be anymore. You want to know what I want to do? Go home. Home liberation. And what is home? Out of hell. How do you go out of hell? How do you get out of hell? The direction in which gets you out of hell. Which direction is out of hell? Up. Okay. How many ways can you go up? I got one. Spiritually up. However, there are what can be labeled and described as the 7 regulations of the enemy, or the 7 enemy regulators. And I use the word regulator for a reason. Take a look at it and see what it means. Define it or whatever have you. Because when they first initially approach you, it's going to be one of these 7 things. When the enemy, the people who wish to serve the demon and be spies and whatnot, and invade your life and pressure you into doing things that you don't necessarily want to do with them, they're going to approach you with one of these 7 things, and they are as follows. Number 1, disrespect. Number 2, the regulator of frustration. Number 3, the regulator of humiliation. 4, annoy. 5, embarrass. 6, provoke. And 7, depict and or classify and or project unto you what they are, because they want you to be like them, because the way you are naturally makes their pretend jealousy spark up. Yeah, even their jealousy is fake. Their pretend jealousy sparks up when you just are the way you are naturally, so they want you to stop being that. Like, for example, our people naturally do not kill themselves at all. That made them jealous. Kill yourselves. Our people had thriving cities, like I believe it was Milwaukee I just saw. It was another Milwaukee massacre I just saw. That made them jealous. Blow it up. Now you fail at everything and you suffer to death for no reason. Then there are 2 outside, the regulator of exploitation and the regulator of extortion. These 7 to 9 things the enemy is going to approach you with all the days of your lives, whether you are completely aware of how they do it or not. Even when you are coming to your full spiritual reawakening, they are still going to be attacking us with the same games. They don't stop doing it. They just do it. It's fun. They get a giggle. Stop them. Destroy them. Take their power away from them and or defend against them. It ain't too many other things. Actually, there is nothing you need to do against them but those 4 things. Want to know why? For the sole purpose of reestablishing the life forces, balanced moral principles to and throughout our reality. Balanced moral principles. Balanced moral behavior. That's the reason for this. All of these words. Everything that I'm saying. This is the power of my sword. Or this game, when I really start utilizing it, the videos ain't about to be long at all after this one. They ain't about to be too much longer at all after this one. Because now the sword is ready. This is the sword that I'm going to use. And once I'm really, really good at using this sword, that's when we step into the next game. Or once you all are good at using this sword, that's when we step into the next game. The upgraded Super Jesus 47 game. The Cosmic Jesus 6.9 game. Or the Cosmic Christ 6.9. Whatever you want to call it, family. I love you all very much. Shalom, shalom, shalom. May these words manifest the love bomb in the spirit. I'm trying to get in the spirit so I can blow it up with love. If I just blow it up, if I just blow the spirit up with what it is, ain't nothing gonna happen to the spirit. But you want to know what will happen? Purification. Look at what the word clean means. It has about 40 definitions in one word. I like the one that says, you become morally uncontaminated. Peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my dear family.